Episode 62. That's why they had to avoid those two places at all costs. What about the planetarium? It's beautiful there. Wen himself had never gone on a date, just like Nan Shen, so he was flustered when asked for suggestions. How could he give advice on where to go for a first date when he himself had never dated anyone? Boss really was unfair. Planetarium? No, I'm afraid I'll fall asleep there. Nan Shen immediately rejected Wu Yin's suggestion. He had been to a planetarium before, and he had fallen asleep. It wasn't fun at all. What about an aquarium then? Wu Yin was already drenched in cold sweat as he tried to come up with a good idea, while secretly browsing the internet for suggestions. Why didn't Boss just search online himself? He could have found ideas without bothering him. Aquarium? Good idea. Nan Shen started imagining the kind of activities they could do there, watching fish, enjoying attractions, feeding the animals. The scenery must be beautiful too. Not to mention, there would be a lot of cute souvenirs he could buy for Tanhua. The aquarium was also dimly lit, creating a cozy atmosphere. Aquarium that sounded interesting. Buy me 2 tickets for the best aquarium in our country. Nan Shen waved his hand, instructing Wu Yin to book the tickets for their date. All right, boss. Wu Yin sighed in relief after his suggestion was accepted and left the office to purchase the tickets. Tanhua? When will you have free time? What about Wednesday? After Wu Yin left, Nan Shen immediately called Tanhua to check her availability. He had chosen the place for their first date, now he needed to set the day. Once that was settled, he could plan the perfect schedule for their time at the aquarium. He wanted this date to be flawless. Wednesday? I have class from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. After that, I don't have any other classes. It's perfect. Let's settle on Wednesday at 10 a.m. Tanhua was studying in her room when Nan Shen called. She had received calls from him often, but somehow, this one felt different. After all, Nan Shen called her Tanhua. He used her real name. It felt nice. Okay. I also have a business meeting before 10, so let's meet at the aquarium. I'll send you the location. Nan Shen ended the call after saying goodbye and immediately sent Tanhua the map of the aquarium. Actually, he could have picked her up from school, but since she was using her boy disguise there, it wasn't an option. For this date, Tanhua would dress as herself, so she needed time to get ready. All right, back to work. Nan Shen put his phone down and focused on finishing his tasks so he could enjoy his date with Tanhua on Wednesday. Tuesday night. Which outfit should I wear? Tanhua was standing in front of her wardrobe, searching for the perfect outfit. She had bought quite a few clothes lately since Nan Shen had discovered her true identity, allowing her to dress as a girl at home freely. She was still living with Nan Shen, after all. Should I go for a feminine style or casual? Tanhua had never been on a date before. This would be her very first one, and she couldn't help but feel nervous. She had searched online for date fashion ideas, and the internet suggested that skirts were better than pants since aquariums were considered romantic spots for couples. But she wanted to wear short jeans. Well, she could pair them with a pink polka dot top. The top would be sleeveless, as usual. She didn't want to wear anything too revealing just yet. Shoes, white sneakers would be perfect. Accessories. She shouldn't forget the necklace and bracelet Nan Shen had given her. And for the bag, a peach-colored sling bag would do. Tanhua giggled to herself as she looked at her chosen outfit. It was perfect. Cute, but not too formal. Oh, and tomorrow, she would tie her hair into a ponytail with a matching polka dot ribbon. Just wait, she was going to make Nan Shen completely mesmerized. Wednesday. Oh no, I'm late. Tanhua ran as soon as she got off the train. The aquarium wasn't in their city, it was a bit far, so they had to take a train to get there. She had taken longer than expected to apply natural makeup since her class had ended late. It was already 10:15. She was 15 minutes late. This was bad. Arriving late to her first date, how could she face Nan Shen like this? Nan Shen. Sorry, I'm Elle. Tanhua had just arrived at the entrance of the aquarium and was about to call out to him when she suddenly stopped in her tracks. Was that really Nan Shen? Tanhua couldn't believe her eyes. Nan Shen looked so handsome that even a few girls nearby were staring at him. The way he casually placed his right hand in his jeans pocket while checking his wristwatch was enough to make anyone's heart race. So cool. For today's date, Nan Shen chose a simple navy blue polo shirt with jeans. For the shoes, coincidentally, he also wore white sneakers like Tanhua. Tanhua was just about to approach Nan Shen when a few girls walked up to him with clear intentions of getting his attention. Hey, are you alone? If yes, let's go together. We can buy you a cup of coffee or anything. one of the girls confidently asked, thinking she could impress him with money. Little did she know, this man could afford an entire coffee company if he wanted to. It was understandable, though Nan Shen wasn't from this town, and he rarely appeared on TV or in magazines. "No, I'm waiting for my girlfriend," Nan Shen said with a polite smile, rejecting the invitation outright. "What? But your girlfriend is nowhere to be seen." Another girl frowned, thinking Nan Shen was making up an excuse. She didn't believe he was actually waiting for someone. Seeing this, Tanhua hesitated. She wanted to go up to Nan Shen and declare that he was hers, but for some reason, she lacked the confidence. She glanced at the girls, then at herself. Compared to them, she felt so plain. They looked elegant and mature, while she looked like a high schooler, even though she was already 22. Tanhua considered waiting on the side, or calling Nan Shen to let him know she had arrived, when suddenly, Nan Shen lifted his head, and their eyes met. Tanhua. The moment he saw her, Nan Shen completely ignored the group of girls and quickly walked toward her, a bright smile on his face. Hi, sorry I'm late. Tanhua suddenly felt nervous. The distance between them had been quite large, so she didn't expect Nan Shen to notice her so quickly. It almost felt like magic. "You're late," Nan Shen teased, though he looked genuinely happy to see her. As soon as he reached her, he instinctively patted her head. "Yeah, I'm sorry. My class ended late." Tanhua stole a glance at the girls who had been surrounding Nan Shen. They were now glaring at her, making her instinctively hide behind Nan Shen. Why did she feel like a timid heroine in a romance novel? She should be confident and stare back at them, but she just couldn't bring herself to do it. After all, she wasn't one of those protagonists who were always effortlessly beautiful, smart, or exceptionally kind. She didn't think she had any of those traits. "What are you looking at? Let's go." Nan Shen had no idea what was running through Tanhua's mind. He simply placed a hand on her shoulder and led her toward the aquarium. Seeing how casually affectionate he was with Tanhua, the girls scoffed and eventually walked away. They didn't believe that Tanhua was truly his girlfriend at first, but after witnessing his actions, they had no choice but to accept it. Let's go." Seeing that the girls had finally left, Tanhua sighed in relief. She wasn't confident in her looks or intelligence, so the least she could do was focus on becoming successful. That way, she could at least feel secure enough to stand beside Nan Shen proudly. "You'll love it." Nan Shen chuckled as his hand moved from her shoulder to her hand. Before Tanhua could react, he had already taken her hand in his, holding it naturally, as if they had done this 100 times before. Ba-thump. Nan Shen. Tanhua's face turned red in an instant. She had never held hands with a man before, and now she was holding hands with him, the man she had feelings for. Oh no. Her palms were starting to sweat from nervousness. "It's so you won't get lost once we enter the aquarium," Nan Shen said smoothly, sensing her embarrassment. He knew Tanhua wasn't used to physical closeness, so he quickly came up with an excuse to make her feel at ease. Well, he might have managed to calm her down, but what about himself? He had carefully planned this moment to make sure Tanhua wouldn't pull away. She had no idea how much courage it took for him to hold her hand like this. He had never held hands with a woman before either. Tanhua was his first, so how could he not be nervous? His own palm was getting sweaty too. "All right." Tanhua nodded and shyly turned her face away, trying to hide her flushed cheeks. She would be lying if she said she didn't like it. So, she stayed quiet and simply enjoyed the moment. She indeed felt happy now, but maybe she had to toughen her heart first. It had been beating fast for so long that she felt it might burst at any moment. "Hey, look, we're in already." Nan Shen noticed Tanhua had lowered her head, so she hadn't realized they had already entered the aquarium. "Huh? Wow, so beautiful." Tanhua raised her head and instantly felt like she was under the sea. The aquarium they visited was truly breathtaking. As visitors walked, they could see fish and underwater scenery on both their left and right sides. They could even see fish swimming above their heads. Even under their feet, there was a glass panel, and behind it, fish swam freely. "It feels like being under the sea." Tanhua's eyes sparkled as she looked around, glancing left and right. Occasionally, she would even look down, mesmerized by the beauty beneath her feet. The tunnel-like design of the aquarium made visitors feel as if they were in the middle of the ocean. It was magical. "You like it?" Nan Shen couldn't help but smile when he saw Tanhua stop walking and press her hands against the glass wall next to her, fascinated by a jellyfish swimming toward her. "Yes, I like it." "Nan Shen, look. That jellyfish is coming toward me." Tan Hua excitedly grabbed Nan Shen's arm and pointed at the jellyfish behind the glass with her right hand. Yes, the jellyfish must think you're its friend. Nan Shen suddenly remembered a fun science fact about jellyfish when he saw the one Tan Hua was pointing at. Huh? Because we're both pretty? Tan Hua admired the jellyfish's elegance, so with hopeful eyes, she turned her head and asked Nan Shen. No. It's because neither of you has a brain. Instead of saying something sweet, Nan Shen playfully teased her. He couldn't help but poke fun at Tan Hua, comparing her to the brainless jellyfish. You. Hearing Nan Shen's words, Tan Hua felt an overwhelming urge to cover his mouth. Why did he always have to tease her whenever he had the chance? This was their first date. Could he not behave for just one day? Tan Hua knew Nan Shen's true nature well. He loved teasing the girl he cared about, so she couldn't stay mad at him for long. Instead, she pouted and stepped away from the glass, pretending to be upset. Hey, are you angry? I was only joking. Nan Shen immediately noticed when Tan Hua pulled her hand away from his and walked off. He would be a fool not to realize she was sulking. No, I'm not angry. Tan Hua told the truth. She wasn't really mad, just a little annoyed. Tap. 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 Suddenly, she started walking faster, leaving Nan Shen behind as her way of punishing him. Tan Hua, forgive me. I won't tease you again. Hey, wait! Nan Shen quickly tried to catch up to her, realizing she was serious about walking off. Oh no. He really hadn't meant to tease her like that. It was just that when he saw the jellyfish, the fact about it not having a brain popped into his head, and before he knew it, the words had slipped out. He didn't mean to upset Tan Hua, especially not on their date. His teasing habit was just too hard to control. Nan Shen reached out to hold her hand again, hoping to stop her, but she pushed his hand away. Tan Hua folded her arms across her chest and picked up her pace. Usually Nan Shen was the one teasing her, right? Well, now it was her turn. She would keep sulking until Nan Shen either begged for forgiveness or bought her something delicious. Otherwise, she would continue ignoring him. Nan Shen, let's see how you handle this. Tan Hua, forgive me, do you want to eat? Or buy some merchandise? Seeing that she seemed genuinely upset, Nan Shen panicked. He really didn't want to upset her on their first date. Why had he blurted out that jellyfish fact? Now everything was a mess. Tan Hua was ignoring him, and she wouldn't even glance his way. Really? You'll buy me anything? Tan Hua raised an eyebrow, still pretending to be mad. Of course, in reality, she was just having fun making him work for her forgiveness. Yes. I'll buy anything for you. Do you want a dolphin? Or a penguin? Nan Shen was so flustered that he blurted out whatever came to mind, even the ridiculous idea of buying her an actual animal. What? No. I don't want those animals, I just want ice cream. Tan Hua was startled when she saw Nan Shen look so serious about his offer. She knew he was rich and had some mysterious business dealings, but she didn't want to buy dolphins or penguins. Those were protected animals. Ice cream? Okay, let's go. Nan Shen was so happy when he saw Tan Hua finally talking to him. He quickly grabbed her hand again and led her to the food corner to buy ice cream. 5 minutes later, it's so delicious. Tan Hua held a cone of ice cream in her hand. It was summer, so eating ice cream felt like a blessing. Not to mention, Nan Shen had bought her the most expensive one, so of course, the taste was superb. Tan Hua happily licked her ice cream as they walked back to the aquarium. Meanwhile, Nan Shen was already feeling exhausted. He hadn't realized that going on a date could be so tiring. But if it meant seeing her smile, he didn't mind at all. Now that Tan Hua had eaten, the next stop was the dolphin attraction. Nan Shen was about to ask her to go watch the dolphins when he noticed a bit of ice cream on her lips. Aish, this girl was still as clumsy as ever. So where are we going next? Tan Hua turned her head to ask Nan Shen where they were going next, when, suddenly, he leaned in closer. Their faces were just inches apart. Her heart pounded. Hey, what are you doing? Tan Hua panicked, thinking Nan Shen was about to kiss her. They were in a public place, for heaven's sake. Her eyes squeezed shut in nervousness when she felt a warm sensation at the corner of her lips. Was it a kiss? So clumsy. Nan Shen hadn't kissed her at all. He had simply wiped away the cream with his thumb, then stepped back with a teasing grin. Huh? Tan Hua slowly opened her eyes, realizing what had just happened. He hadn't kissed her. He had just wiped off the ice cream. What? You thought I was going to kiss you? Or did you want one? But we're in a public place. Nan Shen chuckled at her red face and the obvious confusion in her eyes. Well, he did want to kiss her, but not like this. He had a plan for that. What? No, I didn't think that at all. Anyway, it's your fault. You could have just told me I had cream on my lips. Tanhua stammered as she tried to refute his words. Of course, he wasn't wrong. She had thought it was a kiss. But who wouldn't when someone suddenly leaned in so close? Hey, let's go. The dolphin show is starting. Nan Shen actually wanted to tease her a little more and make her admit she had thought he was going to kiss her, but he held back. If he pushed too far, she might get really mad, and then all his efforts to cheer her up would be wasted. I forgive you this time. Tanhua could feel her heart racing like crazy, so she quickly grabbed Nan Shen's hand and dragged him toward the dolphin attraction, hoping to hide her embarrassment. Unbeknownst to them, when Nan Shen had leaned in earlier, a few couples nearby had watched with envy. Especially the girls none of their boyfriends could make their hearts race the way that handsome man had just done to his girlfriend. That girl was so lucky to have a boyfriend like him. Of course, those couples had no idea that aside from them, a few hidden paparazzi had also witnessed the moment. They were even more jealous. They didn't have girlfriends or boyfriends at all. Still, that photo would definitely make the headlines. Young Master Nan spotted on a date with the Louvre brand model. Dolphin attraction location. Here. Thank goodness there are still seats left. Tanhua hurriedly pulled Nan Shen toward 2 empty seats, a bit farther from the pool. She actually wanted to sit in the front row to get a close-up view of the dolphins. But usually, people sitting in the front row got splashed with water, so she preferred to sit further back. All right, don't rush. Nan Shen sat beside her and sighed. He had actually prepared front row seats for them, but Tanhua had chosen the back instead. Well, he knew the risk of sitting up front getting soaked from the splashes. But so what? They could always change clothes later. What? Did he want to see Tanhua's clothes get wet? Of course not. His intentions were pure. Well, not completely pure. Oh. It's starting. Tanhua nudged Nan Shen, her face lighting up as she watched the show. She didn't notice that the man next to her wasn't looking at the dolphins at all. Suddenly, she felt a hand land on her thigh. Her body jolted in shock. Nan Shen? At this moment, Nan Shen noticed that Tanhua's thigh was rather exposed because of her short pants. Seeing this, he showed an annoyed expression before his hand moved, startling the poor girl. What are you doing? Tanhua's face flushed red when Nan Shen suddenly placed his hand on her thigh. She didn't understand what was happening. Why was this man acting like this? What? I can't? Nan Shen ignored Tanhua's protest as he lightly placed his hand there, his expression teasing. Well, you can, but not here. Tanhua wanted to say no, but since they were already a couple, she didn't mind small gestures of affection once in a while. She didn't dislike it, but the problem was, they were in public. Even though everyone's attention was on the dolphins, she still felt embarrassed by Nan Shen's actions. But no one is paying attention to us, Nan Shen grinned, seeing Tanhua already flustered. He knew she wasn't used to this kind of attention, so she must have felt awkward when he placed his hand on her thigh. But he couldn't help it, okay? Who told her to wear short jeans on a date with him? Didn't she know that wearing something like that would make him feel protective? Still. Tanhua quickly grabbed Nan Shen's wrist and moved his hand away. But just a second later, he returned it to the same spot. She was wearing short jeans, leaving part of her thigh uncovered. This made Nan Shen even more concerned. Still what? If you wear short pants, won't others look at you too? Nan Shen huffed, ignoring Tanhua's plea to stop. At first, when he saw Tanhua wearing them while standing, he didn't think much of it. But the moment she sat down, her thighs were even more visible. That's when he realized that people sitting behind or next to her could see them too. If he had known this earlier, he would have taken her shopping for something else to wear. But it's fashion. It's not my fault if others find it attractive, right? Tanhua couldn't understand why Nan Shen was suddenly upset over a pair of pants. Back in her world, wearing short pants wasn't a big deal. The clothes she wore were actually modest compared to modern fashion trends. She hadn't even introduced backless dresses, one-strap tops, miniskirts, transparent jackets, and other styles. These shorts were nothing compared to the designs she had in mind for the future. Fashion is fine, but don't you care about how others look at you? In this place, not many girls wear short pants like you. I just realized that, and I think you should change them. Nan Shen glanced around and noticed that most women were dressed more modestly. While many wore Louvre brand outfits, few opted for shorts as short as Tanhua's. Most wore long jeans or knee-length pants. Only a handful dressed like Tanhua. But I dressed up like this for you. So why? Tanhua couldn't understand why Nan Shen was suddenly making a big deal out of this. They had been watching the dolphin attraction just fine earlier. Why was he acting so strange all of a sudden? Seeing Tanhua on the verge of tears, Nan Shen went silent. He picked up the sling bag she had left with him earlier and gently placed it over her lap, covering her thighs. He hadn't meant to make a fuss about it, but Tanhua had no idea what had happened just moments ago. A few minutes earlier. Hey, that girl has great legs. Nice thighs. One of the men sitting behind Nan Shen whispered to his friend. His voice wasn't loud, but Nan Shen heard it clearly. Too bad she has a man next to her. Otherwise, I'd go talk to her. Just one evening with her would be enough. The other man smirked as he eyed Tanhua's legs. The moment Nan Shen heard this, jealousy and anger flared up inside him. How dare these men talk about his girlfriend like that? That was why, without thinking, he had placed his hand on Tanhua's thigh to make it clear that she wasn't someone they could casually talk about. And just like that, the men immediately shut up. I'm sorry I scolded you. You look too pretty in that. I'm afraid others will be drawn to you. Nan Shen gripped Tanhua's hand as he whispered in her ear, feeling apologetic. He had been triggered by the men behind them, which made him act impulsively. He should have just covered Tanhua's legs with something instead of reacting the way he did. He really was too possessive, wasn't he? It's okay. I know you mean well. At that moment, Tanhua also overheard whispers from the couple next to her, discussing her fashion choices. She had been too immersed in the dolphin show to notice the conversations around her. When she was standing or walking, the shorts didn't seem too revealing, but once she sat down, they did appear more exposed than what people in this world were accustomed to. She had to remember that she couldn't change people's mindsets overnight.